So, is it this thing that can't handle me? Or is it me that can't handle this thing? As I showed you in the last episode, I am injured. And that made me think a bit. I mean, if I go back in my personal life, I've been a floorball coach for nearly 20 years now. In my professional work, I've been leading people for about 10 years soon. And in those kind of instances, it struck me that I always break down a goal into everyday pieces to do. But in my adventure journey, I never broke down anything. I just set a goal and tried to accomplish it without training anything or breaking anything up. So, today's episode will be about me. Because we already spoken about the bike, and the bike can do anything I want it to do. But I believe I have to practice on doing everything the bike needs me to do. So therefore, today's episode will be about what I can do better. And most important of all, to create a game plan for me to execute after. So let's start by creating the game plan then. What will I need to do to become an adventure rider? Well, if I go into my own riding, I think there are 3 big things I need to practice on. The first one is riding technique, capacity, and last but not least, weight. All these 3 things have combined fields. I mean, my technique will depend on how much I weigh, also on how much capacity I have. And I got more capacity if I weigh less. But sometimes they're different. I do not get more technique because I weigh less. And if I work out in the wrong field, I will not gain more capacity if I'm lighter. And I can get more technique without being lighter too. If I'm going to work on these 3 areas, I need to divide them even more. So I get a clarity every time I'm out riding, what I need to do. First of all, weight. That's a long journey. I get a goal of weighing 90 to 95 kilos. That's my goal. What I weigh now is about 127 kilos. So it's about 30 to 35 kilos of weight I need to lose. And how will I do that? Well, that is a part of the capacity. Because my capacity on the bike is weak. It takes like 2 minutes before I tire my core strength and my leg strength gives up, and I'm starting hanging on the handlebar. So my core strength, my leg strength, and my fitness level have to become higher for me to achieve what I want to be done on the bike and to tie in to my better technique. And as I said before, that will also tie in to my weight goal. If I can get stronger in my core and in my legs and get a higher fitness level, yes, some of my weight will automatically disappear. So those are the 3 things in capacity I'm reaching for. And to the third one, which is the most important, is my technique. And the first technique I need to be trained on is to lose my fear. Today I got so much fear of doing anything on the gravel that it hinders all my capability of thinking straight when I'm on the gravel. So how will I achieve all these three things? I got many goals to achieve now, and for me it's as simple as from these goals to create my new game plan. So what I will do is, first of all, get my collarbone to heal. That's the most important thing, because if I don't get my collarbone to heal, I can't do anything of these three things. I can't ride my bike and lose my fear. I can't get stronger in my core or legs. I can't get a higher fitness level, and I can't lose my weight because I cannot operate on the same level. So that's the first thing. Get my collarbone healed. Second thing is to start rehab. When my collarbone is at the level that I can start using it more, I have to gradually increase my strength in my collarbone area, and then put on the other things that I need to do. But I can still, for example, try to get a higher fitness level by walks. Taking a walk in the morning before work. 20 to 30 minutes is perfect before my work to take a walk. And I can do it in my neighborhood, and I can achieve it without exaggerating my injury and my collarbone. That's the second thing I can do right now. And the third thing is to dig into techniques to lose my fear. What I believe I have to do is find a big gravel area that I can practice my riding on. And then I mean like slow turning between cones, big U-turns, and make them tighter as the time goes. And just feeling it out. Test braking on a surface where I have all the time in the world to stop, and so on. And that's the three things I think I can start with right. And I will try to incorporate those three things in the coming episodes. And then, yeah, we have to work. I mean, as you probably imagine yourself, losing 35 kilos, you don't do in a week. That's not healthy for you. I can't just magically snap my fingers and have stronger cores and stronger legs and a higher fitness level. Equally so, I can't just lose my fear. But I can start today and make better on any of it. Well, I hear you say, you still haven't answered if it's you or the bike who's not capable. And you're right. I haven't answered that question. Because I think it's a bit of both. One thing that's certainly clear is that I can't handle that much power in a bike and that much weight. This bike is too heavy for me in those kind of conditions, and it's too much power for me. Everything is happening too quick for me to react. So that part is saying that I'm not enough. But it also says that the bike's not good enough for me. And that's where the questions lies, I believe. It is a bit of both of this. Because if I had a lighter bike, and if I had less power in the bike, I think this accident that happened to me wouldn't have happened because I would have reacted quicker, and because of the low power, I think that the traction on the back wheel hadn't gone away from me. But I will be improving to the level of this bike. I want to be the rider that can ride this bike. Maybe not to its fullest, but at least at 90% of its fullest. I always want to be at the safe side so I can have fun. But today I probably uses the bike 30 to 40% of its capability. And that's not enough. And again, don't get me wrong, I will be keeping this bike. For through-up riding on pavement, it's the best bike in the world, hands down. I tested a lot of others, like the 1600. The only one I haven't tested is the Gold Wing. But this one lives up to every check I need to. I want you to be able to follow along in your tempo with me, growing to be a better ADVer. So, the first step to this is that I will break down my first riding when my collarbone is healed, and my first training pass, if you will say. So let's break down my first ride out when I get to ride on the bike again. So, what will my first day of training be like? Well, it's important to know that what I don't need is more riding experience. I've been sitting in the motorcycle saddle for many hours, and that's not what I need. I need to be better at my technique, my riding technique. So that's what the first day of training on the motorbike will be like. And this is how I think I will do the first one. I will start with baseline training for 10 minutes. What that means is if I start and stop in a controlled manner, a big oval, two-way, both directions, a big 8, also both directions, wide U-turns, 3 each ways. That's the first part of it. The second part is focus on my line of sight and where my eyes goes. And here also 10 minutes. And what I will do there is big arches between cones. And in this one, I will focus on where my line of sight is. I want to focus on my next turn before leaving the turn I'm already in. That's because I need to lift my head and look forward, not be staring on the ground. So I will do 5 calm repetitions of this and register all the time where I've been going wrong. And the third one is slow speed maneuverability. And also here, 10 minutes of practice. And what I will do here is keep a straight line, and I will drive in walking pace. I always want to have control between clutch and the gas, always combining the two with small movements, not to jerk away and be uncontrollable on the bike. It's a race to drive the slowest I can and do it in the most controlled way I can. So I can't be too slow and don't have control, and I can't be too fast. It's a compromise of the both. Try to learn this small stuff and get to know the clutch and the gas. So this is my first day of training. This is the first thing I will do when I can get on the bike again. So when this is over, we get a pretty good baseline of where I am. We can evaluate after this pass what's been going great and not so great. And then we can start to learn what do I need to work on. And of course, if you're following along, be free to toss in your comments on if there's anything you think I need training, or if there's something you want to get help on training. So remember, age before beauty, don't do anything I shouldn't done, and ride safe out there. See you on the next one.